What's that? In some instances they might need to. Yeah, maybe that's fair. Maybe not. He was pretty mean that day. He wasn't very nice.
That sounds like black man.
Well, strong-armed.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to park out 9 blocks from the Capitol and not have a telephone anymore. I guess a little bit. So sometimes that happens with leaders. Sometimes they lose their temper. So we've got 5 traits. Tell me, there's one thing I would mention. Should a good leader know exactly what they think at all times? In other words, if I am the Speaker of the House and I have a bill on the floor, should I know exactly what it is I believe in, what I think? Should I be completely convinced of my position? Is that necessary before I can lead men and women into making a decision as well? You think so? Does everybody think so? Okay. Anybody think no? Would anybody say no? You don't have to really know. Okay, tell me why.
Because you don't want to be too strong about your opinion that no one can change it. Because if you get like that and you make a really bad decision, then it could end up like if you're in the military, like thousands of people could die.
Mm-hmm. There are consequences for bad decisions. Lieutenant of an army platoon in Afghanistan is responsible for lives. Yeah, it's a good point. Yes.
Well, you kind of have to be. You gotta know what you want. But if someone lays something out on the table that you didn't know, you gotta be open to be able to change your mind.
Okay. So we might say that they ought to be. Here's the word: reflective. Does that make sense? Have you heard that term before?
Yeah.
Reflective. You can give some thought to not only yourself but to others, and maybe some thought about the issue at hand. I'm sure that the superintendent of Rainmore Peculiar is reflective when they make a budget out every year, and if he thinks that somebody may lose their job because money is tight. I'm sure the hospital administrator in Belton, for those of you that have seen the $40 million building that's going up next to the hospital, I'm sure he was reflective when he considered how much money that was going to cost and how long it was going to take, right? All the lawyers, the accountants, the engineers.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I'm in charge of $23 billion.
I would not want to have a job if I was.
There are days I would be happy to trade with you. So I have to be reflective sometimes too. I have to consider my actions actually have consequences, as you pointed out. The governor, you know, the economy isn't so hot. I know you guys know that. That's why it's really important you do very well in school. I can't tell you enough how well you need to do in school. Having a strong back and strong hands is not going to get you a good job in the 21st century. Get the very best grades you can get. Study as hard as you can study. Math and science, math and science, math and science, science and math, 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 science, science, science. Biology, chemistry, biochemistry, chemical engineering, nuclear engineering, mechanical engineering, chemical, everything. This is where the world is going to go very quickly. Very quickly. And all the related fields around it. Absolutely. My family has been in business in Cass County for decades. We own an insurance agency. How many of you guys have cell phones? Yeah, you can buy insurance on your cell phone in about 5 minutes. Do you think people are really going to need me in 10 or 15 years? No. That's a career that's going away. That's a career that's disappearing. One of my dad's best friends when I was a kid growing up was Mr. Todd. Mr. Todd had a little business on Main Street in Belton. You guys are too young to remember this, but everybody in Cass County went to Main Street, Belton to shop. There was no Walmart. there was no Target. The Steinbrooks had a appliance store, and the Weeks family had a jewelry store, and the Manley family had a home furnishings and appliance store. Everybody went to Main Street Belton to buy your stuff, because Raymore only had 300 or 400 people in it. Peculiar only had 700. You either went to Harrisonville on the square, or you went to Main Street in Belton. And one of Dad's good friends was Mr. Todd, and Mr. Todd had this really strange business that you guys probably have never even thought about. He repaired TVs. Because back then, TVs were big. They were in big wood cabinets. You sat in your living room. My parents still have one in the living room. I don't know why. It's 40 years old. It was this big, and they had huge tubes. And you didn't just go to the store and get another little plastic flat screen TV. You had to have somebody come out and repair your TV. It was much cheaper than buying a new one. Well, the TV repairmen are out of business. Mr. Todd's been out of business and is long gone. So when you think about your career choices and you think about leadership in your career going forward, be reflective enough to know the world is changing really